Oh, hello everyone. Today I'm presenting my review of one of the most powerful and widely watched TED Talks of all time, The Danger of a Single Story, by the celebrated Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. In this brilliant talk, Adichie tackles a fundamental issue in how we perceive each other, what happens when we view a person, a culture, or an entire nation through just one narrative. She argues that relying on a single story creates stereotypes, flattens complex human experiences, and make genie understanding between people nearly impossible. To illustrate her point, Adichie shares several deeply personal and engaging stories from her own life. She begins with her childhood in Nigeria. She was an early reader, but all the books available to her were British and American stories. So when she started writing her own stories at the age of 7, every single one of her characters was white, blue-eyed, played in the snow, ate apples, and constantly talked about how lovely it was the sun had come out. Even though she lived in tropical Nigeria, ate mangoes, and had never seen snow, her single exposure to Western literature convinced her that books, by their very nature, had to feature foreigners doing foreign things. It was only when she discovered African writers like China Achebe that her per- perception shifted, saving her from having a single story of what literature could be. She also shares how single stories affected her relationship with others. Growing up, her family had a houseboy named Fide. The only thing Adichie's mother ever told her about Fide's family was that they were extremely poor, because poverty was her single story of them. Adichie felt immense pity and assumed that was all they were. But when she visited Fide's village, his mother showed her a beautifully patterned basket woven by Fide's mother. She was shocked because it had never occurred to her that anyone in his family could actually create something beautiful. Later, when Adichie moved to United States at the age of 19 for university, her American roommate was shocked by her. Her roommate asked where she had learned to speak English so well and was confused when Adichie learned that English is Nigerian official language. Her roommate even asked to listen to her tribal music and was visibly disappointed when Adichie handed her a tape of Marish Carey. Her roommate's default position towards her was kind of patronism, pity, because her roommate had been fed a single story of Africa as a ca- catastrophe, war, poverty, and helplessness. Adichie candidly admits that she isn't immune to this either. When she visited Mexico during a tense political debate or on immigrating in the US, she realized she had swallowed the media's single narrative of Mexicans as mere abject immigrants. When she arrived in Guadalajara and saw people going to work rolling up tortillas in the market, laughing and living normal life. She was overwhelmed with shame. She realized she had reduced an entire country to a single political headline. Throughout the talk, Adichie emphasized two critical lessons. First, storytelling is tied to power. She introduced the Igbo word Nkali, which means to be greater than another. Power dictates not just how stories are told, but how who tells them, when they are told, and how many stories get shared. When you dispose a people, the simplest way to do it is to start their story with their failures rather than their completely history. Second, stereotypes are incomplete, not necessarily false. Adichie points out that real danger of stereotypes isn't that they are entirely untrue, but that they make one story become the only story. It robs people of their dignity and highlights our difference rather than our shared humanity. In, con- in conclusion, a digital talk is a masterpiece of storytelling with a crucial message for our modern world, it challenges us to look beyond quick headlines, default assumption, and simple stereotypes. To truly understand the world, we must actively seek out a balance of stories. Thank you very much for watching my TEDx Talk video. So, inshallah, I will meet you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.